everybody. As you can see, I've got a Fert spreader on the back of the 3230. I've got a bit of Fert spreading to do. I've done spring wheat this morning, and I've just got a bit of last bit of grassland to spread. I just put 100 weight and a half on, just to pep it up a little bit. Just a tight bit, sorry. Yeah, just putting a bit on just to bring it up a touch. It's the ground we cut for hay. So we're just gonna spread a bit on there, get that going a bit better. I've noticed a couple of people have started to cut. Not many, but we've got, there's a big company, well, it's a big contractor that's coming to cut somebody. Well, I don't know whether they've cut it or not, but they've got a big chrome forage harvester picking up silage in rows. It looks like that they've got lorries actually carting off the harvester rather than tractors and trailers. I've only, this is the first time I've really seen them do it before, so around this area. You see the harvesters pass through every now and then, like down the A1 and things, but we've never really seen it around here. Oh wow, looks like it's nice. Don't see many of them. But yeah, so it's the first bit I've really seen around this area. But no, we're sort of, we've had a few people ringing up about doing silage and that. Silage probably at the end of the month, so we're in May now. I think today's the 11th. Sorry. So probably at the end of the month we'll start looking at cutting a bit of grass. We've got a few surprises that I said in my last video. Probably gonna sort of spill it out, let it out by accident anyway, so I might as well tell you now, otherwise I'm just gonna let it go anyway. We've got a few new machines coming in. We've sold some machines to sort of put towards. Our Lely mower is pretty much knackered. We had to take the conditioner out of it last year because it was just kept jamming up and slipping the clutches and shear bolt. Well, it used to have a clutch, now it's got a shear bolt in it, mower. So in the end we took the conditioner out of it. And last year the ram then started coming apart and just the mower started dropping on the floor. We had to take the ram off and then screw the ram back together. But the last time it did that, Dad had had enough of it falling apart, so he welded it in. So it's not going to come apart now. But it's quite old and rickety and it's got a lot of vibrations in it, so if it did die this year it wouldn't surprise me. So we found a really good second-hand chrome mower. It's not got a conditioner, it's just blades. It's slightly narrower, it's 2.8 metres rather than 3.2. My uncle's got a 3 metre I think, which we borrowed quite a lot last year when ours broke down. And that thing is so smooth and so lovely to have something new like that. I'd only ever used our Lely, and I was well surprised, shocked at how bad ours has actually got. So that's one thing that we've got. That's a year old. Apparently somebody brought it last year and decided they didn't want a conditioner. Then this year they've decided they do want a conditioner. So we've got one that's had 1 season on it. So might as well, it's pretty much brand new. It's been looked after. No, whoever had it looked after it. So it's a nice new mower for us. Then we've also got our Lely brake. We've had a fair few issues with it last year and the year before, and I sort of spoke with Dad and that. We both decided that we couldn't really run it for another year. We spent a good 3-4 days on it last year fixing it, with all 3-4 of us working on it. So yeah, we decided that needed to go this year, and the crane rake that we hired last year, second hand, I think it's about 5 years old or so. It's a good rake. It's a good wet paint that's worn off of it a bit in places, and it might not look the smartest, but it's in a lot better condition than what ours is. So we traded that in against that, and then we've also sold the Massey 6160. Sold that. Decided, it was sort of not out of the blue, but we sort of, through the whole of cultivations, it sat in the shed doing nothing, and there's a tractor there. It's slightly too small for what we need it for. It's 100 horsepower on a 6-cylinder engine, Perkins engine, which is a good old engine and a good old tractor, but we need that extra 5 mile an hour and the air brakes. It makes a huge difference to us. A tractor with that sort of 150 to 180 horsepower range and 50k and air brakes would make a huge, which would be a much more useful tractor for us than our Massey. I'm going to stop it here for a minute. I'm going to go back again. Sorry about that. It's just driving through another farm's yard. I don't really like filming whilst I go through other people's property and that. We rent this ground, so it's sort of, we have to go through there to get to our fields that we rent. But as I was saying, that Massey doesn't quite meet what we need it to do. So a bit of a coincidence and a bit of luck, I think, really, to it. Weatherheads, who we've bought the machinery off of, Mark Weatherheads over at Hardwick, they had a trade-in of another Class Arian 640, 50k air brakes, pretty much identical machine to what we've already got, but it's got 1,000 less hours and it's 2 years older. So we've decided to trade our Massey in against this. I love our little Massey. It's a good little tractor, plenty of power in it, and that it is just that bit older, that it doesn't have that 50k and doesn't have the air brakes, which is a big thing with us, with being contractors and that. We go a long way, and having that extra tractor that can do more in harvest will make a huge difference to us. So that's what main reason why we went for it. Was luck, really, luck, and sort of just a coincidence that it was sitting in their yard when we went over there one time. That's why I sort of noticed it, because we'd already got one. We've got on really well with our Class Arian. I know it's a couple of years older, so there might be a few issues that they'd fixed over the years, but we'll see. Know them fairly well now, so I know a few of the issues with them and that. As when we went over there, it's got a problem with the suspension on the front axle. I think mainly because it had been sat in their yard, not being used, it had the issue. So Weatherheads are sorting that out for us. They're sorting it out now as we speak. So they're sorting that all out. We've got all our tractors cleaned down and sort of ready to go over there. So we traded in our Massey 6160, my 690 Massey, the old lady rake and hedge flail that we don't really use, the spearhead hedge flail that we don't use ever so much now. We haven't used it for a couple of years, and might be something in the future that we'll be looking at replacing, but not at the moment. We're not for a couple of years yet, I wouldn't say. There's more important things. But yeah, so they're the machines that we've brought this year, ready for silage season. We have got to look at another chaser. That's the only other thing that we've got to look at for this year. Unsure on what we're doing, whether we're going for a multi-bale one or just a 90 deep. Depends on what stock they've got and the pricing, because they're not cheap things, they aren't. So that is the only other thing that we're going to look at this year as new machinery. So it's all out there. We've brought it, we're sort of improving the machinery as it's got older now, so we'll be able to provide better service, and hopefully have a lot less breakdowns this year, hopefully. Also having the other second class means that the bigger tractors and the fast tracks, like the 3 fast tracks, will have less hours put on them, because they're all getting quite high hours now. There's this one which is almost at 8,000 hours, and the other two, 7270 is about the same as this, and then the 8250's got about 8.5, coming up to 9. So they are getting higher hours now, and might be something that we look at next year, depending on what situation is at the farm and that, and where we go and what we're doing. But that's way in the future for now. So I'm going to do a bit of Fert spreading and do a bit of filming of it. I know it's a little bit breezy. It won't matter as much because it's grass. The wind's picked up a bit since I've come up here, and it's a bit more of an open field, so it's blowing across it a bit. But with it being grass, it shouldn't be too bad. And I'm actually really surprised at how much this has grown, because we had a stack here, and when I come up to clear the stack, the grass wasn't that great. There weren't a lot here, and I was getting a bit worried that we weren't going to have much grassland to cut this year, or not have as much, because the hay that we cut in hay season, usually we sell it mid-August. Usually it's all gone, and that just sort of helps us get through till after harvest when we sell the grain, paying for the string bills and that, because they're not cheap, and all the diesel and that, because we've got to find the money for that somewhere. But yeah, that's about everything that's happened on the farm so far. I must admit, not much has changed due to coronavirus with us. It's made it a bit more difficult on deliveries. Deliveries haven't come as when they've said they would, but really apart from that, it hasn't affected us that much. I know there's a lot of people and a lot of industries that have been affected by it, especially haulage. There's a thing on Facebook, I can't remember if it was Farmers Weekly on Facebook or something like that. They're saying that if the lockdown carries on for much longer, that a lot of the smaller haulage companies will be starting to go bankrupt and closing down, and I know a lot of other businesses are going to be heading the same way soon. But it is what it is, and we can't change it. It's what needs to be done. We're just very lucky that we can carry on. There isn't much, well, we can't really not stop, because cattle need feeding, sheep need feeding, crops need fertiliser spreading, they need spraying, they can't stop. So even if they did tell us to stop, we couldn't, because there would be no, that would be it. Animals would die and all that. So we're sort of carrying on. I know a lot of people are also carrying on, but I hope everybody's happy and healthy and safe, and just doing the best they can and staying away from people. But yeah, so that is the situation at the moment and what's going on here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be going to pick the machinery up at the end of the week, depending on how they get on with this class tractor with the issue with the front suspension, but we'll see. They shouldn't take them much. It's probably only a couple of sensors or something. They've got a bit of wet in them whilst the tractor's been stood, but they're going to sort that out for us, and hopefully it'll all be ready by the weekend, well, before the end of the week. We'll be able to go and pick it up, and it'll be a sort of nice little, it's a nice feeling getting a bit of new machinery. You feel like you're getting somewhere. So I haven't brought much new machinery for a little while. I know it's mainly second-hand stuff, but it's still new to us, and just moving on like. But I'll shut up now, and I'll let you watch me Fert spread. So I'll see you soon.
Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can